Hello, this is Jan Lloyd talking to you. This is a quick tutorial to teach you how to use MS Word and turn it into a type of Scrivener tool simply by using styles, headings, and the navigation bar. Now, if you already know about styles and headings, this isn't the tutorial for you. But if you only use the basics of Word, you'll find this very helpful. For those of you who don't have Scrivener, this is the Scrivener interface. This is what it looks like. The thing I like about Scrivener is over here on the left-hand side, you can have as many folders and as many text files as you want over here. If you need to add more folders, you just right mouse click on your folder and you tell it add, and you can add new text, new folders, anything from a template or a website too. I always add folders right away. I put in my 12 sections because I go with the section outline. If I wanted to click down here on step 2, it immediately brings up step 2, and you can see scene 7 is just down below there. If I go down again further on, step 3, I didn't have any scenes in there. Step 4, again, I can quickly go anywhere in my novel and start working. So this is Scrivener. Okay, now here's a look at my Word document, and look over here on the left hand side. I've got my sections put in, section 1, section 2, section 3. Again, I'm big on sections and planning that way. Got all my chapters, and then I've got my notes. And if I didn't like things in the order they were, just click anywhere and drag it. If I want my notes down at the end of that chapter, that's where it goes. I've got different kinds of headings in here, and that's why heading 1 appears further to the left in my headings. The chapter heading is a heading 2, and it appears a little bit further to the right, and then my notes are a heading 3, so they're even further over here. It just makes it easier to look at. If I don't like the order of my chapters, if I decided that this chapter really needs to go in front of chapter 3, I just click and drag that up there, like so. And anywhere I click, if I go to section 2, it brings up section 2. If I go to chapter 8, it brings up section 8 or chapter 8 right at the beginning of my document. So it's very easy to scroll through, find what you need. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to put those headers in, or headings in. It's important to note all headings are styles, but not all styles are headings. What are styles? They're just quick ways to format your text with font, font size, emphasis, color, alignment, spacing, and indentation. What are headings? Well, simply put, they're brief headings to organize your document. They're not to be confused with headers and footers. Headings are different. If you've applied a heading style to the body of your document, those headings will appear in the navigation pane. Other styles will not appear in the navigation pane. Only headings appear in the navigation pane. Now then, headings will allow you to make a table of contents, create bookmarks in a PDF document, and use Word's navigation pane. Now, I start out by making 5 headings and 1 style when I start my book. And these are my headings that I make. And I always name them AAA, so they'll appear alphabetically at the top of my list. Sometimes I have a lot of headings and a lot of styles, and I just want to find them very quickly. Right now, if you want to find, let's go into Home tab right here. Click on Home tab. Here we go. Your styles will be over here. If I want to see a box of all the styles, you can see these are the styles I've got. I've cleaned it up for you, so it looks pretty good right now. And if I wanted to see, if I click down, let's see, right here, this will allow me a box to go back and scroll through. You can see I've got a lot more styles listed here, but I had cleaned them up out of this other box here. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and close that. If you want to look at your navigation pane, you have to go into the View menu and click on Navigation Pane. Now, I'm clicked on headings over here, but I don't have any headings put in yet. So I'm about to do that and show you that. You can also close it at any time you want. If you hit Control F, it'll bring it right back up too. So either go to the View menu and click on Navigation Pane, or hit Control F. And now I'm going to show you how to make these headings. To make my first heading, I go to the Styles palette and I choose Heading 1. So I've clicked on Heading 1. I open up my Styles palette down here. If you don't have that open, click on this button down here. You got Heading 1. and then I'm going to go and add a new style. So click on this button, you get a new style. It is based on heading 1. So I'm going to call this AAA Sections, and I put H1 to remind me it is based on heading 1 if I want to quickly find it. And then I go into Format, and I might change my formatting up a little bit. Let's tell it OK, see if it's going to come back in. Tell it Paragraph. And I don't want any indentation on my sections. I just want to keep it right over there. I'm going to go ahead and put 0 in right here. And 0, 0. I like everything left aligned. I'm going to keep single spacing right now. You can change all of those things that you want. I'm going to tell it OK and tell it OK. And we now have a new heading. Now it's called Sections. So I might just come back in here, Section 1, and that is with my heading. And notice it appears over here, except I want those to be all caps. And maybe that's too big a type, so I may go back into heading and change this up a little bit. So I can come back, right mouse click on it, modify it, say OK. I like that. It was just too big. Format, go back into Paragraph. I can go into Font. Maybe it's Font I need to go back into. Let's just cancel that, go back into Font. We've got Font over here. I'm going to tell it 16 point. And I can read Georgia better, so I'm going to go to Georgia and I'm going to tell it Format and tell it OK. And now it changes it. It's Section 1 over here, and we've got our first heading in. For my second heading, I'm going to go to the Styles palette and click on Heading 2. So come back up here, click down, find, well, let's see if that's going to come up. There we go. And I'm going to find Heading 2. And I'm now going to click New Style. I'm going to put it Georgia. I'm going to make everything Georgia. It's based on heading 2. I'm going to name it Chapters. And let's see if there's anything I want to change in the formatting. Okay, I'm going to leave that like it is for right now and tell it OK. And OK. But I haven't put in anything that's a chapters yet, so I'm going to go ahead and type Chapter 1. And I don't want it to be a sections, I want it to be a chapters. And oh, it's centered. I don't know that I want that centered, so I can always go back and change my formatting. If I right mouse click on that, modify, then click on left align here, and then tell it OK. Now then, my chapters will be left aligned. All right, I'll go to my third heading next. Now, for my third heading, I'm going to go to the Styles palette and click on Heading 3. So click on Heading 3. That bases it on Heading 3. I click on it, and it should bring up my Style palette, but it did not. So I'm going to go ahead and click down here to bring that up. And then I'm going to tell it New Style. Click on the New Style button. Title it AAA Chapter Notes, based on Heading 3 to remind me. And I'm going to make it the same Georgia, and I may make it 12 point because it's just notes. And I want it left aligned instead of, well, I may want it justified. Justified is okay there. All right, and I don't want blue, I want black. So I'm going to tell it okay. And I may have to change the formatting later, but I have now got 3 different headings up here at the top that I can easily find. So I'm going to come back behind Chapter 1, and I'm going to put Chapter Notes. Except I might want to spell that right. Chapter Notes. Okay. And I need to select it and choose Chapter Notes for it to be that heading. Notice what happens as soon as I selected that. Let me go ahead and close that. I've got a stair-step section, Chapter 1, and Chapter Notes there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with Characters and Places and notes and references, and then body text. But anytime, if I wanted to go ahead and start a new chapter now, I could come under there, spell it right, to, highlight it. Notice what happens over there. It goes under chapters. Same thing. Chapter 3, it appears as soon as I type it here, it appears in my navigation pane. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get these characters and places put in the next section. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've put all of my headings in. I've got the section heading, the chapter headings are in, chapter notes is a heading, it's in, notes and references are, and characters and places. Now, my style for body text is in there, and I've gone ahead and placed it, and if I click, I'm going to go ahead and click this way so you can see my styles palette this way. You can see my body text. That is just a style, it's not a heading, so body text will not appear over here. But if I've got anything I've gone ahead and put in here, chapter 3, if I wanted to go ahead and type my chapter in there, I come back in, I select, because I typed it AAA, I can tell it body text, and now it comes in with the body text I told it to have. All right, again, body text is not going to show up over here, only headings. Chapter 3 shows up. If I decide to come back in and put chapter 4 and start in, all I have to do is highlight chapter 4 and then put chapters there, and it brings it over to the right hand side or left hand side, and notice it appears over here too. And it's pretty much as simple as that. And now you've got a Scrivener type effect over here in your navigation bar. Again, Control F opens and closes it if you don't want to look at it again. And close that again. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control F. I said it toggled it, but it didn't. But you can always find it also in the View menu and click on Navigation Pane that way. All right, that is your lesson. If you have any other questions, you know how to get hold of me. All right, bye-bye.